Hello, today we can see about the phylum Onychophora. So, the organisms which are included under these phylum Onychophora, they are commonly called as the velvet worms, also called as walking worms, because of the velvety appearance of their cuticle. They are commonly called as the velvet worms. And the word onychophora, it came from a Greek term which means claw bearers. So the word onychophora means claw bearers. So these animals, they will be having claws in their appendages. Seeing about the salient features, these organisms, they are bilaterally symmetrical, having a cylindrical worm-shaped body. External segmentation is absent. Though metamerism is seen, evident external segmentation is not seen in the case of these animals. They are having a permeable but flexible cuticular covering. And this cuticular covering is secreted by the underlying epidermis. So this composition of the cuticle, it is made up of alpha chitin, which is a polysaccharide, and some proteins. And this cuticular covering is having two layers, an outer epicuticle and an inner procuticle. On the procuticle, it is again divided into two parts, an outer exocuticle and an inner endocuticle. Now they are having paired, unjointed, hollow, short, stubby legs, and these legs are having claws at their terminal end. So this type of leg, it is called as a lobopod. Lobopods. Lobopods. Now these animals, they are having certain slime glands in their head which secrete a slimy secretion. Muscles here are undivided and unsegmented. The perivisceral cavity is a hemocoel. So it is divided into a dorsal pericardial sinus and a ventral perivisceral sinus by the presence of a membrane, and this membrane is porous, means it is having pores. And this membrane which divides the hemocoel into the dorsal and ventral sinuses, it is called as a pericardial septum, also called as a dorsal diaphragm. Now, the pericardial sinus, as a name indicates, the cardial refers to heart. So, the pericardial sinus, it contains heart, and the perivisceral sinus, the word viscera you may be knowing, it means internal organs. So, the perivisceral sinus, it occupies several internal organs. Now, when you look into the heart of these animals, the heart is just a muscular tube with lateral openings, and these openings are called as ostia. Respiratory system, it is made up of several tracheal tubules, but here the opening of the trachea, the spiracles, they are scattered. They are not paired but scattered. Excretory organs consist of segmentally paired coelomoducts. Now, nervous system, in this case, it is a ladder-like nervous system, as you might have studied in the flatworms. Here, in the onychophorans also, the nervous system is ladder-like. So, bilobed ganglionated brain will be there with the nerve cords, paired nerve cords, and there will be interconnection, transverse connection between these ventral nerve cords, which resemble a ladder. Then considering the sense organs, eyes are there, antenna is there, sensory cells are there, and tubercles and papillae are present on the skin as a sensory organs. Sexes are separate, gonads are ciliated, and cleavage here is holoblastic or superficial. Development is direct, means without any larval stage. And some of these organisms are viviparous, while some others are oviparous. As you may be knowing, viviparous means giving birth to young ones, and oviparous means they will be laying the eggs. Now, almost 110 species of these organisms are known to us, and they are divided into two families. Family Peripatidae. These are the organisms which are these family. It includes organisms which are more or less advanced, and the distribution it is in Malaysia, Brunei, India, West Indies, like that. And the next family is family Peripatopsidae, and this family it includes several relatively primitive forms, and their distribution is restricted to temperate countries of the southern hemisphere like Australia, Tanzania, New Zealand, etc. Now, considering the phylogeny of Onychophorans, it is a monophyletic taxa. That means all these organisms coming under this phylum are derived from a single ancestral stock, and they are having certain common features like they are having mandibles on their second cephalic segment, oral papillae can be seen, slime glands can be seen on the third cephalic segment. Trachea, it is tufted in nature with scattered spiracles. Ladder-like nervous system with widely separated nerve cord jointed by certain segmental commissures, which gives a ladder-like appearance. So while going through the characters shown by the phylum Onychophora, we can understand that these animals they show a combination of characters shown by both annelidans and that of the arthropods. Apart from these common characters, these organisms also exhibit certain specialized unique features of their own, and majority of these characters are highly primitive. So these animals they are considered as intermediate between the annelidans and arthropods and evolutionary intermediates. So usually such animals they will be called as a connecting link. So these Onychophorans are considered as a connecting link between the annelidans and arthropods. And apart from that, these organisms they have been evolved in the very primitive past, more or less before the Cambrian period. So these animals, majority of these animals have been fossilized. So they are evolved in the prehistoric period, and these organisms are still existing on the surface without undergoing any change. So without undergoing any change, once they have evolved, once they have shown certain characters, that characters have been retained till date. So such type of animals they are called as a they will be called as a living fossils. Okay. Because some of the fossils have also been obtained and living specimens are also present. So such type of animals are called as a living fossil. So these onychophorans are considered as a living fossils since they have been evolved in the prehistoric period and still retaining the same characters as such. So they are living fossils and they are connecting links, and some other major characteristic feature is that they exhibit a very uh, restricted distribution. That is another characteristic feature, discontinuous distribution exhibited by these